Today, on Starfield Essentials, I review a paid creation with a simple quest and combat-themed POIs. This is Faction Story Expansion, House Va'ruun by Nell Drakebane, available for 200 credits on Creations. I'll give an overview, warnings, and my conclusion. And what is that guy doing in the bathing suit? My name is Richard. Let's get started. Overview. This is an achievement-friendly creation. It's the third by the modder. You might remember Faction Story Expansion Crimson Fleet, also available for 200 credits on Creations. And Faction Story Expansion Trackers Alliance, which is free on Creations, and Nexus Mods. If you like those mods, you'll probably like this one. However, if you played those mods, you will probably recognize much of the POI layout and structure in this one. I started this creation by visiting the Barnard star system. The only planet there is Frost. This was similar to the start of the Crimson Fleet mod, where I traveled to Loyton's Rock, the only planet in the Loyton star system. After landing at Frostcoil Haven, also known as Port Va'ruun, I found a cool POI populated by peaceful Va'ruun, traders, and other civilians. Here we find the ship technician, and as with previous mods by Nell Drakebane, the ship technician has an interesting selection of ships, usually ones that cannot be found in other locations. So here we have a full suite of Va'ruun ships, and there are some other ships as well that are not Va'ruun, because I think there's only perhaps 6 Va'ruun ships. But most interesting, at the end of this list are 6 special refurbished versions of the Va'ruun ships. So these are basically buffed versions of those vessels. Again, pretty cool. And one little note that Nell Drakebane added, to the left of the ship technician, there's a industrial crate or scientific crate, I can't remember what it is. Inside there is a slate, and it gives you some advice on how to deal with the ship if you're having trouble accessing it. Let's take a quick look at the main place you have to visit at this first POI. This is the bar where people wear their spacesuits. You find a trade kiosk, an ammo kiosk, and a medical kiosk, so you can sell or stock up on items there. And just waiting for you, here we have a mannequin with 3 legendary spacesuit items. So if you need that type of gear, go ahead and grab it. All Va'ruun themed, very nice. And here is the key. This is our first quest chest. So if you open up that chest and you grab the slate inside, it will tell you what you have to do. And the TLDR is that you have to go to Andromos 6B and prepare for combat. The extended discussion explains how Frostcoil was a haven for believers and traders. However, the trading post was threatened by Va'ruun zealots. Going to Andromos 6B was the first step towards confronting that threat. And this was the beginning of visits to 3 hostile POIs. Each had an exterior component and an interior component. No part of this creation used quest markers. I learned what I had to do and where I had to go by following slates. I won't spoil the story for you, but it was pretty straightforward. Now, this was probably one of my favorite aspects of this first POI, is that you've got these temple ruins and they have 0G, so you can just fly around. I think that's pretty cool. Now, the other aspect of this first POI that I liked is that there is a fairly decent interior cavern setup where you could just walk around and check out the scenery. I think that's, man, I just love that aesthetic. And here I just popped into a 0G area inside this cavern, so my character can just float ahead. I really like that. Good job, Nell. And as you keep exploring that interior location, you'll find more legendary loot. It's probably a little bit overpowered, but one of the coolest things is this Va'ruun worker.
Pardon? Do you have room for one more on your crew? Trust me, you'd be getting a bargain.
As you can tell, this ship weapons specialist is incredibly overpowered. I didn't add her to my crew, but it probably would have been pretty cool. Next, warnings. This is a combat-themed creation. There are no specific NPCs for the character to interact with, besides targets for elimination. My character basically volunteered to clear different groups of undesirables from each POI in exchange for loot. I didn't mind this, because by this point I knew what to expect. These locations did bear resemblance to the POIs in the last 2 creations by this modder, And bearing resemblance is probably the most generous way I could put it. I didn't mind this either, although I have a high tolerance for repetition in Starfield locations. I didn't look too closely, but it is possible the overall structure of the POIs might be almost exact copies of the last creation. If repetition bothers you, that's why I include warnings in my reviews. Now here's an odd one. You can see I'm trying to use my S47 speeder, and I'm encountering some type of invisible wall. This occurs not only in the air, but also on the ground. I don't know if it has something to do with pathing or something like that, but you can't just fly anywhere you want to go in some of these POIs. Oh, I just lost one of my companions there. So I don't know if the modder intentionally wants to funnel you towards a certain way through the POI, but the way I usually play these is to try to find some high ground, try to go around wherever the zone would be that would sort of funnel the character through the most danger. And eventually I just bailed out. I got tired of running around there, trying to get to where I needed to go using the S47. And as you can see, I think I'm hitting some type of wall right there. I can't go forward. So you'll be fine if you play this pretty straightforward. Yeah, look, see, I'm running into a wall right there as well. If you just leave your... Oh, yeah, there's the wall again. Now I'm stuck. Yeah, I ended up having to fast travel to get out of that because it was pretty frustrating. Next, conclusion. The question is, should you pay 200 credits for this creation? I'm personally always in search of quests. There are hardly any free ones, so I'm open to buying paid ones that fill the gap. It took me about 2 hours to find all the quest slates and clear the POIs. I think 200 credits is a fair price for this one, but no more. These POIs are not on the scale or complexity of something like Forgotten Frontiers, so I think 4 for 200 credits is appropriate. At the end of this creation, Neil wrote about an expansion for higher level adventurers is coming with new missions, challenges, and secrets. I look forward to these new creations, and I encourage Neil to mix it up with location and quest design. Thank you, Neil Drakebane, for your work, and thank you to all my subscribers. Please consider subscribing to show YouTube that you enjoy positive and honest Starfield content. Special thanks to all channel members. I hope you're enjoying our private Discord server. If you'd like to know more about membership, click the join button on the channel. There's no obligation. I use your contributions to pay for drives for capturing footage and to buy creations to review. What have you been doing in Starfield? Your insights make this channel a place for positive and honest discussion of the game. In addition to videos, I also post to the community tab for this channel on a daily basis. If you subscribe, you'll see these posts in your YouTube feed. If you made it to this part of the video, please leave a comment with the word snake. Also, remember to ring the bell icon and select all notifications. Check out my other videos, and please tell your friends about the channel. My name is Richard. I will see you in the Starfield.
The best you've got?